Matthew Moore's Wood Studio, and in this project we're going to build this shop cabinet, and you can do it in less than a day. What's great about this cabinet is you can get all the materials for it at a big box home goods store and actually fit them all inside of a car. That's right, a car, not a truck. With some pre-cut 2x4 sheets, you can make this cabinet too. Now, this cabinet I just made, but this cabinet here on my left, I've had for over 10 years. And all the other cabinets behind me and in the rest of the shop, I built the exact same way. And they've lasted an entire trip across the country and many, many years of great service. And again, they can be built really fast. This one in less than a day. And then you can be back to work in your shop building furniture just like you want to. So let's get started. To start this project, figure out the depth of the cabinet you want to make. I tend to make all of mine 16 inches deep. Now, rip your two sides and all the parts for the top, bottom, and your fixed shelf. And now cross-cut the two sides to length. For me, that's 27 inches. And then cross-cut your top, bottom, and fixed shelf to your desired width. And if you need another shelf or two, cross-cut that now too. And if you are going to have a floating shelf, while you're here, you might as well rip off 3/4 of an inch in width to that shelf. Now we need to mark out some layout lines on our sides. I use one piece on top of another with my square to get the depth, lock that in, and then I draw lines on both the top and the bottom of each side. And then from the top, I draw another set of lines 5.5 inches down, add 3/4 of an inch to that, and draw another set of lines. And then I make a series of marks indicating where I want to drill holes to screw the sides together. And then I flip my sides upside down, take my drilling jig, flip that over, and with it set 3 inches up from the bottom, clamp down, I then drill my set of holes through the entire length of the jig. And the jig I'm using is from Rockler. And now tilt your case side up, get it to align with one of your parts so that they'll both stand. And then I use these 90-degree clamps or holders from Rockler. They're plastic and helps you keep everything aligned. So you put one in place, grab a clamp, and then for the bottom, I grab a longer F-style clamp, and then make sure everything's nicely aligned so it's flush along the entire length, and clamp it down. And then with a bit with a countersink on it, I drill my holes and drive my screws in. Now that you've done the top and the bottom, it's time to do the fixed shelf. Now for that, as you can see, I've attached a 90-degree to the very top. Now I'm not sure if I'm perfectly parallel, and right now that's okay. All I'm going to do is screw in and attach one screw to the very top to provide a pivot point, and I've aligned the shelf itself to my marks on my outer side that we drew earlier. So now I'll take the whole assembly and flip it up. Just like I did in the other, I'm going to take a pencil and bring my lines across. Clamp the 90-degree to the shelf. Take another clamp and just lightly put it on and align the shelf to my lines. And with that aligned, I can drill the rest of my holes. Now I can grab my other case side, put it on top, get everything nicely aligned, and throw my clamps on. Now while I have the cabinet here, I'm going to flip it over onto its top side. And since I've already picked my front, which is this side, what I want to do now is grab my wheels and get those up here. Now what we need to do is drill through the cabinet and secure the wheels with some bolts and some nuts. So I'm going to make a universal amount of space I want to do for all of these. So I'm going to do 1.5 inches. Now I'm going to take a bit that's just a little bit thicker than the bolt itself and drill my first hole through, and then take a washer and a nut and tie. get this attached. And now I'll attach the rest of the 4 wheels. And once I take a quick measurement of my drawer opening, I head over to the table saw and I rip my parts to height. For me, 4 inches tall. And then I cross cut my drawer lengths to 14 inches, matching the length of my slides. And then over here at the bench, I have my 2 drawer slides, my 2 sides of my drawers, and I can now take a measurement for the total width of the parts in between the 2 drawer slides. And for me, that's 17.5 inches. And then I can cross cut those parts. And then with my fence set to give me enough room to put a screw in, below the groove I'm gonna cut, I rip a groove into all of my parts until it fits perfectly into the piece of thin plywood I'm gonna use for the drawer bottoms. Back at the bench, I use those right angle fixtures to connect one of my sides to the front. I drill a couple of holes and drive my screws in, nice and flush. Now measure the width and height for the drawer bottom and cut that to fit the table saw. Put that drawer bottom in, use the right angle fixtures, and finish screwing this drawer together. And I just really quickly mark the front. And since the drawer front is 3/4 of an inch, come in here and draw a line 3/4 of an inch back. Bring your drawer slide up to that line, and that's where you're going to then drill your holes and attach the drawer side. And now you can put your drawer in. With the drawer in, we can now take some measurements of the back, head over to the table saw, cut a piece of 1/2 inch plywood to fit width and height, come back over and attach it to our case. Now I take some 3/4 inch MDF and I rip it to 18 inches. Once I rip that, I rip another strip 4 3/4 of an inch tall, and I will be using that for the drawer front. I'll then cross cut my 3/4 inch MDF for the top, 3 inches wider than the cabinet, and I'll cross cut the piece from my drawer front a 1/16 of an inch less than the width of the opening. After centering the top along its width, putting it flush against the back, I then come in with a square and mark some places to drill some screws through the MDF top into the case. And I'll put one extra one roughly in the center. Before I even think about attaching the drawer front, I take a couple business cards, put them down, bring the drawer front over, place it down and see if there's room. If there's not, which there isn't, I'll trim off just a little bit until it fits with a little bit of room on top. And then I want to be able to get a couple business cards in along the width. And if I can't do that, I need to trim that down until it fits. So now that my spacing's good, what I want to do is bring over my handle. I'll take this off actually and find the placement for the handle. So once I find center for the handle, both height-wise and width, I'll come in and draw right where the center of these things are so I can drill. I'll bring my drawer front back, drill my holes, and screw my handle in. And with my cards out, I'll try my fit. Beautiful. For the door, take a measurement of the height and the width. Subtract 1/8 of an inch from both measurements and cut that at the table saw with some 1/2 inch MDF. So now it's time to draw the locations for hinges. So I'm going to come up here and start actually at just about a 1/2 inch up. I'll then extend that line on the bottom. And I'll do the same thing on the top. Now you can attach your hinges. Make sure that if you use this hinge, it says door on the outside. I brought the door over and I'm using gravity to help it come up against the hinges. Now you want to get the door so it's flush against the back side of these hinges. And you want to make sure when it closes, it's got clearance on both the top and the bottom. I'm going to press down on the board towards the back and drill a couple quick pilot holes. Help get things started. Okay, about 1 inch down. I'm gonna draw a line in just like I drew before, same depth, And this is for the location of our magnetic door catch. And that'll give me the location. After that, locate where you need to attach the metal plate and attach that to the door. And now I'm going to attach a handle at a location I think looks good. To finish it off, I'm just going to put some amber shellac on all of my MDF. All right, well that's it. This was a great project. Now I've got my little bandsaw up on top of the table for the first time, and I can now bolt it down to the top, and it's got a permanent home. And what's great about it is I can wheel it out anywhere I want and use it. So as always, please subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends, and hit that thumbs up button if you like this video. If you're watching this on Facebook, hit the like button, share your timeline, and head over to the Wood Studio page and like us there as well. And as always, have a great week in your shop.